Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 443. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Hello, everyone. Hello. That's all I got for you. This is the best you're going to get.
Late night with the boys.
This is fun, actually. I do like the little late
fun.
night sesh. Way late for you.
Way late for me.
This is old school stuff. We used to do this back in the day.
Dude, we used to do like...
You would like edit until like 2 a.m.
Oh, those were rough nights, man. Because we would have to. I was so hard pressed about waiting until the entire slate of games was over because I didn't want to miss anything. Because we must have been burned one or too many times of like a West Coast no hitter or something big happening, and we had already recorded. So I'm like, no, when we record during the week, we have to wait to the end of the slate of games to record, and then I'd have to edit for like an hour. And that's back when I thought editing actually mattered. Now I'm just like, I'm gonna take our audio, upload it, and if the people don't like it, that's on them. That's
Perfect.
Nothing I can do. No need in cleaning it up. But yeah, this is a throwback for us. A little late night, a little quarter after 11 p.m. on the East Coast out here. And we're approaching your bedtime.
Shout out to anyone catching us live right now. Like, that's big time.
That's
big time.
Appreciate you in the chat.
The alerts are on, the notifications are rocking, and you're
Speaking
here to
of
chill
which,
with us.
Speaking of which, big news on the YouTube front. Just hit 1K.
There we go.
We're at 1K on YouTube. Now,
we're cooking.
Now we go. Now that we reached that threshold that I was trying to get to, now we're shooting for our goal of 2K on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, what are you doing? Do it right now. Hit the subscribe button.
Let's get it going.
Nate already mentioned the notifications. That's how you're going to get them if you subscribe.
Yeah.
We need the subs. Any other housekeeping items before we get into what we have to talk about tonight?
I shot an 87 on the course today, and I feel pretty good about that. Pretty good. Lost one ball on hole one. That's it.
And then it was all uphill from there.
It was all
downhill.
Smooth
downhill,
sailing.
I guess.
Yeah.
Proud of you. That's big time.
Thanks. You had some chocolate today, yeah?
I did. Yeah. Took a trip with the fam up to Hershey Park up in good old PA.
Are you a milk chocolate or a dark chocolate guy?
So hot up there, dude. Milk chocolate for sure. I mean, I don't discriminate against the dark chocolate. I will say my taste buds have evolved.
I am proud of you for that. Yeah.
I'm there. Like I won't say no to it if it's offered to me, but I'm still a milk chocolate guy at heart. So
I'm a big dark chocolate guy. I think milk chocolate's pretty much a waste of time. Pretty much.
Well,
a peanut M&M goes a long way for me, though.
That's milk chocolate.
Yeah, that'll do it. But just straight up milk chocolate, like those Hershey Kisses. Did you have some of those today?
I actually didn't. I did have a Hershey bar though. I mean, that's standard. That's kind of checking the box.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole like when in Rome thing, man. That's like getting
true.
It's like getting pasta in Italy. You get a Hershey bar from Chocolate World at Hershey Park. That's
very true.
That's your day right there.
It's very true.
But anyway, enough about chocolate. Let's talk about some baseball because that's what we like to do here on this show. Well, maybe not so much Nate as of late because my friend is down bad right now.
I'm so pissed. So
you might touch on that a little later towards the end of the episode. But before we even think about wrapping things up, we got to get into some items here. We're talking Willie Mays, of course. Aaron Judge had a little bit of an injury scare. Mike Trout, speaking of injuries, shocker, a little behind schedule with the rehab there. Grimace, the streak finally ended tonight, but I think it's still worth addressing the importance and the impact that Grimace has had with the New York Mets. Going to talk some Dodgers City Connects Part 2. And then, as always, we're going to get into some weekend series to watch, so we get you primed up for the weekend coming your way. But as I mentioned, have to start with the sad, unfortunate news of the passing of Willie Mays. I feel like this happens anytime we lose one of the legends. It's one of those things where you wish you would have, like, there's almost this weird sense of guilt or regret that, like, you wish you would have done, at least for me, I'm not speaking for everybody, but for me, I wish I would have done more to educate myself on the resume and the impact in the sport that this guy had while he was still with us. I hate that I have to be, that I'm learning about these deep cut nuggets, these statistics, these accomplishments, these feats that he attained. I hate that I'm having to learn these things as we go following this unfortunate news. But on the flip side of that, it's really, really cool to see how much this man is being celebrated across baseball. And I don't think that's a stretch by any means. I think you look just about anywhere, any corner of baseball right now, and people are talking about how great of a player this guy was, how great of a man he was. I even on our trip today, before we left, I grabbed his autobiography off the shelf and I started reading that on the way up there because I was like, I want to get into the mind of this guy, and even just in the first few pages, I'm like, that I can see why this man was so widely respected across baseball. But such a loss, man, such a loss. And I hate to say, but Willie Mays was one of those guys where he's just been around the game for so long that it got to a point where it was like, is Willie Mays still with us? And you check, and he's still kicking. I mean, this man lived a long and just full life. 93 years old.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I found myself doing that same thing, I don't know, like a week ago. One of our guys in the league, I think it's Matt, right? That works something with baseball. He's setting everything up for
Rickwood.
The Rickwood game. And I think he mentioned that Willie was supposed to come, and I caught myself I was like, hold on, is Willie still with us? And that was a week ago. But it's hurts, man. It hurts. I think it's really just like I don't like to compare or anything like that, but I mean, Hank Aaron hurt. This, I don't know why this one just feels a little bit different. This one feels like it's a little bit bigger. I don't know. No disrespect in any way. It's just I think it's just hitting home a little bit more with a lot of big baseball fans. I think it is that slight generation before. I know there's some crossover in their careers, but he's a legend, dude. There's kids literally that are trying to emulate his catch, and had no, we never got to watch him. You know what I mean? It's just it's a name that's timeless. It's gonna last forever.
To your point about the Hank Aaron comparison, I feel like I may have a thought as to why that is, because I almost feel the same way And again, no disrespect to Hank Aaron, obviously one of the greatest to ever do it. But with Willie Mays, I think the difference here, and again, this is just speculation. This is just me thinking out loud. I think with Hank Aaron, there's this weird, I don't want to say stigma, but I think because the topic,
home run king,
the home run king, the conversation that surrounds that is so polarizing that there's this weird, I don't know, this weird angle that maybe people have with Hank Aaron, and it may not even be intentional. Maybe it's more of like a ricochet effect with Hank Aaron, where they want to defend Barry Bonds so bad that like Hank Aaron kind of catches some strays from time to time. And that it's just anytime you hear Hank Aaron, your defenses go up, and you're going, okay, like I gotta be ready to defend my camp, whether it's Hank Aaron or Barry Bonds or whoever else you want to put in that conversation. But with Willie Mays, I think the thing that makes this different, and the reason it maybe stings a little different, is because this guy just all around, like, sure, he didn't have the
5
exactly, didn't have the home run title, didn't, he's not in that echelon with Hank and Barry Bonds, but just all around truly one of the best to ever do it. And it's like, when you think Willie Mays, you're not thinking along those lines of controversy or him being polarizing in that way, whether well-intentioned or not. You just think incredible human being, incredible talent on the diamond. And when you lose a guy like that, whether it's him or a guy like Hank Aaron, you just can't find anything negative to say about the guy. And it's unfortunate. Again, like I already shared my thoughts and how like I feel like I've had to respond, where it's like, man, now I really, he's no longer with us, but now I feel like I owe it to myself and owe it to him to again educate myself more on just how good this guy was. Yeah. But it's even more unfortunate that there are people that are younger than us, so kids coming up that just, I don't even think have the slightest clue as to how good this guy was. But again, I'm always trying to find the positive and stuff like this. Yeah. Whether it's dad, whether it's the uncle, the older brother, they now have the opportunity, now that this celebration and it's really unfortunate, but the timing of this whole this game at Rickwood Field, like I am certain that there's going to be quite the celebration in store, and I fully trust that they're going to have everything in place. And I think, like I said, going back to my point, is these younger kids or just people who are unfamiliar with his career, they now have the opportunity to really do a deep dive into just how good he was.
I think there's definitely some celebrating that's going to be happening around this series and this game. I think, not to get like too negative here, but like we are in this strange place in society, and I don't know if it's surrounded around social media, but it's like this comparison to modern day players versus, back then. And it's like, well, they didn't see the same pitching back then, or they didn't get to see the same type of arms coming out of the bullpen, and just this back and forth. And it's almost like this degrading of guys that like have literally laid the path for why the game is what it is today. And I think it's important that we still recognize greatness and not have to tear that down to build up our modern day, amazing players, and vice versa. Like, I don't think there's any reason to attack modern day players. It's just, you can't compare guys across generations. It's not possible. But I think I've heard some chatter about maybe, I think Buster Olney came out and said, he thinks Willie Mays should be the new logo for MLB. I think that there's I mean, can you imagine like the silhouette of the catch, like something like that? You know, I don't know. I think they're overall our baseball world media, everything is just going to do a really great job of educating even us, even, you know, people that have loved and fell in love with this game for years and have paid attention to as much as we can and absorbed as much as we can. There's just still so many things that we're not going to be able to uncover. I have some amazing nuggets that I wanted to share tonight. I know you do too. So I think let's educate. Let's just be a part of that mix of getting more of his stuff out there.
Well, running through his resume that I alluded to just a few minutes ago, in case you're not familiar, just running through the basics here, but Willie Mays, over the course of his career, obviously a Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP, 24-time All-Star. And if you hear that and you go, how is that possible? You may not remember, or you may have never heard, but this was back, he played in a time when they had 2 All-Star games in a season. So he was able to, Willie Mays, I would venture to say, probably didn't have any issue making it to both in a given year.
Yeah.
So naturally, he's going to be racking up those All-Stars. So 24-time All-Star. He was Rookie of the Year, was a 1954 World Series champion, was a batting champion, and was the Major League Player of the Year. Over his career, accumulated a WAR of 156.2, had 3,293 hits, had 660 home runs, hit 301 over the course of his career, which, by the way, was 23 years, hit 301. I know we talk about the home runs, the RBIs, even the OPS, stuff like that, but to hit 301 over 23 years, just crazy. 2,068 runs scored, 1,909 RBIs, 339 stolen bases. Again, touching on that true 5-tool player aspect. He had a career OBP of 384, slugged 557, OPS of 940, and an OPS plus of 155.
Yeah. Yeah, I did read an article, I think it was actually Buster Olney, that he talked about maybe him deserving more MVPs than just the 2. And he went by like different years in his career where he could have won. And what he explained was that like back in the day, MVPs were the definition of that, and the voting was just a little bit different. It was for sure about like a winning ball club. It was for sure about the best team in baseball, and one of those players being their leadership was for sure counted for in the voting. Like they hated to repeat MVPs. So there was like a lot of factors as to like why he didn't win more than 2. And he actually wrote this article and went like year by year of what he did. And he thinks, and Buster Olney, like, we can have our favorite writers and we can say what we want about writers. But that guy knows a lot more about baseball than I think you, I, or anyone listening right now. So for him to talk about this stuff, you can kind of trust his opinion, but he talks about how like he very well thinks he could have had 7 or 8 MVPs if it was based on like today's criteria, where it's more stat based and less opinion based around leadership and the value to the team. I've got a lot of nuggets. I'm going to try and not get too wordy for everyone. Just wanted to screenshot some stuff here. Number 1 nugget, he is one of he's the only player ever to have 50 home runs and 20 triples in a season. He had 70 extra base hits in 13 straight seasons. No other player has had 13 seasons total, not just consecutive, ever. Total. You talked about the All-Star appearances, 18 All-Star as a starter, which is more than anyone else in history. Talked about guys that I brought up this, this argument of when we talk about guys in the past of who they face and like what the big deal is about certain pitchers. But it brought up like Hall of Famers that he's faced in the past. Warren Spahn, he had 253 plate appearances against him. Don Drysdale, 243. And he hit over 300 against both of them, combined for 318, 371, and a 596 slash line. 59 extra base hits and 31 home runs against those two guys. Faced 14 Hall of Famers overall with a 286 batting average and an 859 OPS against Spahn, Drysdale, Sandy Koufax, Robin Roberts, Fergie Jenkins. Crazy names. One of 33 members in the 3,000 hit club, but he is the only one with at least 3,000 hits, a 300 average, 300 home runs, and 300 stolen bases. Splits, righty versus lefty. He had a 302 average. No, this is at home. Home and road splits. 302 average, 335 home runs at home. 301 on the road with 325 home runs on the road. Hits 300 against righties with a 917 OPS. 305 with 1,006 OPS versus lefties. Mays had at least a 300 average and a 925 OPS in every month except July. Mays often stepped up in big spots, posting a 965 career OPS in high leverage situations. Ranks 5th of all time. So just some amazing things that this man was able to do, and just fun little stat nuggets that really put it into perspective on these numbers do transcend time and it transcends generations. And say what you will about competition or level of competition, but he did compete against some incredible players. And don't forget that man served our country as well and missed a season and a half of time, and very well could have passed Babe Ruth before Hank did if he didn't miss that time.
In case you're wondering how Willie Mays responded coming back, as many of these guys did when they came back,
just lit it up.
Lit it up. By the way, won an MVP the year he came back, 1954, and then proceeded to his first year back, 1954, proceeded to be an all-star every season until 1972. So,
yeah,
there you go.
Just
but yeah, to your point about the competition, that's one of my biggest takeaways from. Again, I still have so much to learn about Willie Mays and what he was able to accomplish on the field. But that I have to say, in the conversations I've had with people about Willie Mays and the things that I've read, the things I've heard, watched, I have never, ever heard about the credibility of this guy's resume based on the era he played in, who he played against.
Yeah.
Or who he played with.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees that Willie Mays, regardless of era, was just one of the greatest talents this game has ever seen.
3 decades. You know what I mean? 3 decades, from the 50s to the 70s. And like, at what point are we going to just stop with that argument? Babe Ruth, look, I understand that conversation. I get it. The 20s is different, but with what Willie was able to do, the frontier that he just was able to conquer, that he was Mike Trout before Mike Trout for you youngins. You know what I mean? Like, he was full on the dude. And like, not that big of a guy either. I think I read that he was like 5'10", 170.
5'10", 170. Yep.
Flew around. Just flew around in everything he did.
Yeah, I was in the reading I was doing, kind of getting my thoughts together for this episode to talk about this. I was doing some digging around, and there was sort of a consensus among certain writers or reporters or whatever, in that, contrary to the way they feel about players from previous eras who maybe would struggle in today's game, again, it seemed to be somewhat sort of a consensus that Willie Mays would actually hold his own today. Like they were like, this guy, because and they were talking the point or the reasoning behind that that thought process was that so much of the game today has been crafted to support, or not crafted, but has so much of the game today has been tweaked, I guess we could say, or designed to help improve the offense or support the offensive side of the ball, whether at the plate or on the bases. Could you imagine a guy like Willie Mays with the recently introduced changes to
larger bags,
to stealing? Yeah. I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, you're talking about smaller strike zones. You know, it's
lower
just,
mound. I think a lot of people forget
that was another point.
Beginning of his career, he's facing guys that are thrown off of a freaking mountain, man.
I mean, like I said, I would have no doubt that Willie Mays, if you plugged him into the game today, wouldn't even bat an eye.
Fun little last nugget to drop. He was the one that he was the first one to win the inaugural Commissioner's Award, which is now recognized as the Roberto Clemente Award, for everything that they do off the field with philanthropy. So I think that's probably what your book is going to get into, that like beyond these stats and beyond the incredible ball player was, I think, the impact that he had off the field and his community. And like, I mean, it's still going to today. You know what I mean? Like, they're about to put a nationally televised Major League Baseball game at a field that hasn't been touched in who knows how long because of him, whether he was alive or not with us anymore. And so it's a ripple effect that has opened doors for so many different players. And I feel for the Giants franchise. You know what I mean? This is a big one. And I don't know. I don't think 24 is going to get retired across baseball, but I think there's going to be something. I think Willie is going to be forever memorialized in some way. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it.
And
I hope they do anyway.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, we rag on Major League Baseball from time to time for just some of their lack of awareness or what have you. But I have no doubt that the right people in the room required to make that kind of decision are going to make the right decision, and they're going to do it right, because like we said, and like we've broken down, we didn't even really have to break it down. It's just kind of known around baseball that Willie Mays is one of the greatest to ever do it. And last thought,
I think top 3 is not an unfair conversation at all.
Not at all. But last thought for me, and you kind of touched on it, feeling for the Giants. I feel like I already knew this guy was again an incredible talent on the field, but also a great guy off the field. But it was in the first couple pages of that book that I was reading this morning that I think really put it into perspective what kind of guy Willie Mays truly is. And he started. There was a paragraph that I got to again right there towards the beginning, and he said something to the effect of, when we. And then he put a dash and he said, just to be clear, when I say we throughout this book, I'm always referring to the Giants. And I'm like, this guy is a giant at heart. And I think the respect that this guy had for his organization and the respect that they had for him, and again, all of baseball, just really speaks to the character of Willie Mays. It speaks to the magnitude of this loss. And I, again, kind of bringing it full circle here to put a bow on it. I really hope and pray that the baseball does this right. It's terrible timing that we lost him this close to this game. I would have loved to, and I think he had said that he wasn't going to be able to make it this year. I think that was just announced like a day or two ago. I think their plan was to have him in attendance. Yeah. But just to not be able to have him with us for this game is such a huge loss, obviously, and the timing is terrible. But at the same time, it's just going to put such a spotlight on what they were trying to do with this game, as well as the career of Willie Mays. So really looking forward to seeing what they do, and not just with this game, but throughout baseball. Like you mentioned, the ripple effect. I really hope they memorialize him properly, the way that he deserves to be. So, any other thoughts before we move on?
I don't. Did you catch the radio Cubs game? That was I think the first guy to. I apologize for not remembering his name, but I think he was the first one to announce it. That was tough. That was a tough listen.
And it was Dave Fleming. Yeah,
Fleming. Yeah, he was like still commentating certain parts of the game, but you could tell that he was struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tough clip to hear. Yeah, just a sad one. And what an amazing thing he was able to do for our game.
One of the best to ever do it. Switching gears here. Aaron Judge avoided a little bit of a scare. You can obviously speak more to this, but I gotta say, when I saw this news come through, or when I saw the notification, rather, I saw the video of the hit by pitch, I was like, dude, we're not. And I know a Red Sox guy, coming from a Red Sox guy, I know it sounds crazy, but I was sitting there like racking my brain. I'm like, are we really about to lose Mookie and Judge in the span of a week?
Yeah, that would have hurt, man.
Like, what is going on?
Part of me still feels like I don't know. Part of me still feels like the Yankees lie, dude. They just lie about injuries. They've lied for years. They said nothing was wrong with his toe. And then all of a sudden, 2 months later, he's, not who he was. I don't know. He was for sure not available tonight. There were multiple pinch hit situations where I thought that he could have potentially, made an impact on the game, and he was just very much unavailable, which made me a little more nervous. And he did come out and say that he wanted to play today. So curious to see if he plays tomorrow. Anyone listening on Thursday is probably just going to call us and, call me an idiot for not knowing. But this is Wednesday night, so we'll see. I don't know, man. It's a weird part of the game. It's not something that can really change. The quote that Mookie said was that you have to stay in. You have to stay in. When 99 rides up on your hands, but also 92 slider tails away from you, and you still have to be able to reach that. Like, there isn't enough time. We were taught growing up the whole like shoulder turn, wear it on the back, and it's not really an option at this velocity and this amount of break that you see. I mean, these guys are facing stuff that it looks like it's coming at their face, and they have to stay in. So it's a part of it. I don't think there was any intention. I think it's pretty obvious there. There's been a lot of back and forth hit by pitches. I think Glaber got one off the hand a few innings later. There's been a lot of back and forth with the O's and the Yanks. There's a lot of chirping, a lot of stuff being built up at the moment in this series, but I'm just glad he's okay for all we know now. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, you kind of touched on it, but it was dare I use air quotes, it was confirmed that the X-ray and CT scan were negative. So
I don't believe it because
I don't blame you.
What I mean? They said Rizzo was fine, and then he had a concussion, and it's like they just lie.
When you first started pushing that narrative, I was like, all right, they're a major league franchise. What are we really talking about here? But then like it was almost like week after week. It's like something new is popping up with the Yankees and an injury, and it's not matching up. And then weeks pass, months pass even, and we find out, oh, wait a minute. That injury that they said wasn't all that big of a deal. Oh, it's turned into months, or it's turned into season ending. Yeah. So I'm with you. I hear you, and I don't put it past the Yankees anymore. And I have since adopted that narrative as well. Like when I'm having little one-off conversation with people, and they're like, "Oh, like what's the deal with such and such?" Like I'm not really keeping up with baseball, the Yankees, but like I hear about such and such a name going down. I'm like, you just wait. You just wait to find out what actually happened with fill in the blank player. But
any Yankee fan that pretends to not be in this camp is a liar. We're all like just at this point that like there's so much lack of clarity and transparency behind these things.
Well, like a year or two ago, more so you than me, but your big thing was the medical staff, like the training staff, and you're going, why are these things like? Why is this happening at such an alarming rate? Like, why are guys pulling hammies? Why are guys tweaking knees? But now it's evolved into, okay, clearly these things are just happening regardless. But why now are we not getting the clarity that we deserve as fans or whoever, like whatever?
So strange.
Very shady. Very shady.
So strange. They just hold everything tight to the chest and whatever, close to the chest. But it's gotten to the point where it's frustrating. I'm over it. I'm just glad he's all right. For all we know, he's all right, I guess. We'll see.
Well, a guy that who really knows whether he's all right, Mike Trout. Got the update.
The least surprising update ever.
After his surgery last month, if you're not remembering, he had a torn meniscus in his left knee. He now has said that it's not going as planned. The rehab's not going as planned. The recovery is a little behind schedule. And like you said, I feel like 2024 has been the season of predictable headlines.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball clearing Ohtani of any and all charges. Mike Trout behind schedule with his recovery process. I mean, like what's next? The Red Sox are a 500 baseball team. I mean, like these are just things we know. These are things we know.
I mentioned this right after the injury that because I tore my meniscus and I had the conversation with the surgeon, like it's either you scoop it out and you're back to normal in a couple months, and it's risking long-term injuries. Can you
give a little insight there? When you say scoop it out, like what are we really talking about?
It's a tendon, like it's a tendon, so they're just taking it like it's a tendon that's kind of separating the joints, like it sits in the middle, and like if it's gone, it's gone. Then you're just at that point they'll inject some stuff to like give it a little bit of some buffer in between, but once that wears down, you're just bone on bone.
So if it's torn, you may not know the answer to this, but you would know better than I would. If it's torn, do you then have to like sever it at the other end and then scoop it out? Is that what you're saying? Like, is there like a full on like removal process there?
Yeah, they just scrape it out, dude. They just scrape it out, and then there's stuff like in between. And I'm not a doctor, so like I can't. But this is the conversation. I literally had this surgery, so they said that like you can either scoop it out, and your recovery is like 2 to 3 months, and you're good to go. But like 10 years down the road, you're most likely going to have arthritis, or you repair it, but it takes longer for that to heal because they suture it back together and it just has to heal. So like,
and when you say repair, you mean surgery,
right? Like that surgery is like, well, either way, there's a surgery involved, whether they take it out or suture it. But like, it takes recovery, and I wore this like immobilizer from my ankle to my hip, and it had like the joints on the side of the knee that they would slowly unlock so I could get more movement to the point. And I remember being like 6 weeks after surgery, I was finally able to be like 90 degrees. But at that point, like I'm still crutching around, like, and I'm not saying I have like everything at my disposal that Mike Trout does with trainers and rehab, and it's all day that you're doing this as a professional athlete. But it just comes down to whether it was repaired or scooped out, man. And if that thing was just taken out, then yeah, he probably could be back this year. But I genuinely don't see him coming back if it was just repaired. And like I don't think people understand like what your knee is able to do, planting, turning, twisting, all those things that like a baseball player has to do while hitting, while base running, while throwing. Like these are all an issue. So like I can't imagine him coming back this year. And at best, you're going to see like these pointless ABs in August where the Angels are 15 games back, and it's like it doesn't mean anything. And that's probably what it's going to get to. Which sucks because like I am sick of this, and I'd love to see him do his thing. But
the last time we talked about this, what did I say? I don't even remember. It was something like I don't necessarily know if I had thoughts on the way I would like to see this year finish for him, like as a fan, as a Mike Trout fan, and just a baseball fan in general. But looking ahead to 2025, or really, like if something injury wise is in store, God forbid for him in 2025, then 2026, whenever this time comes, I just want to see like we just need like a 75% games completed season for Mike Trout, just like at full health. Yeah. Minimal injury, and then throw in like, a stint on the IL for a quarter of the season. I don't know.
It's 121 games, if anyone's wondering. That's 75%.
Well, I know we've looked at this before, but what's the you said 121?
121.5.
The last time he played 120. Okay, well, Give me 2022 Mike Trout. He played 119 games. If we can get that, like 120 would be just a nice, clean, round number. But if you can give me 119 games, 499 plate appearances, like great. That's because that's what he had. He played 119 games, 499 plate appearances, 438 ABs, and he put up 40 jacks that year. I'm not saying I need 40 jacks, but like I'm looking more at the games at full health. That's all I need. I don't care what the numbers look like. I mean, I would hope that they would be Mike Trout-esque, but as he gets older, as his body continues to deteriorate, we know we're not going to get that.
That's the biggest thing, though. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what I'm saying of like it's muscle atrophy. It's like your quad, your hamstring, your calf, your hip. Like, and now that all affects your lower back, like your oblique, it now starts to be coming into the picture. Like all of those things are a ripple effect of that area not being taken care of.
And that's what I'm saying. Just get, like, before it's too late, because you know that his body is just gonna. I mean, I don't want to say like shrivel up, but it's just going to deteriorate to the point where there's just nothing really left, and it's going to be sad. But I truly believe he's not there yet. So whether it's next year, 2026, probably not 2027, but just like one of the next the few years, just one more season. Give me those 119 games, Mike. We need one more year, because I can't keep watching, 36 games in 2021, 82 in 2023, 29 this year. Like I can't do it anymore. We need one more before you go out, because people just need one last look at the guy that we were dubbing as one of the greatest, if not the greatest to ever do it.
We're robbed.
Robbed of it, man. Robbed of it.
Sad.
But we'll see. We will see. I think you know what time it is.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I think you know what time it is. Name that player.
Hall of Fame?
No Hall of Fame.
Active?
Not active.
Did he play for more than one team?
He did not. One team.
AL or NL?
NL.
East?
No.
Central?
Central.
Okay. NL Central. Cardinals? Cubs? Pirates? What do we have left? Why am I blanking? Reds? And he's not active. First baseman?
Yes. At one point.
I didn't get enough questions off.
You definitely did not. This is going to be the biggest shot in the dark.
A Reds retired player, not in the Hall of Fame. At one point was a first baseman, but played for one team the whole time. What? I don't even know a Red that was only a Red and isn't a Hall of Famer.
This is on you, buddy. I can't give you any more help. You're really putting some time into this. I appreciate the effort.
I don't know. I don't know if he played first base at all. Pete Rose.
I don't know how to answer this question. Technically, yes. Technically, no. The answer is Pete Rose Jr. Did you know there was a Pete Rose Jr.?
No, but I think I get a half a point. That's what I think.
I mean, I'll give you a half a point, but I gave you this impossible task of guessing Pete Rose Jr. only as a segue to bring to attention or bring to light the fact that there's a Pete Rose Jr. I had no clue, but I saw it. I don't even remember how I came across it, to be honest with you. It was one of those like random like MLB historical video accounts, I think, or whatever. And it was something, I don't know what the day was marking, but it was just a random clip of Pete Rose in the crowd cheering on Pete Rose Jr. after he got his first hit in Cincinnati. I legitimately had no idea. And I know there's probably a bunch of people going, yeah, of course we knew Pete Rose had a son named Pete Rose Jr. But I didn't know he played.
Whoever says that, I don't believe them.
Well, Okay, so get this. He wore 14 for the Reds
Yeah.
and played in 11 games, had 16 plate appearances, and accumulated a WAR of -0.3. Hit 143 in 1997.
It's a cute story. That's what that was. That's what that was. An OPS plus of 6.
I mean, hey, look, we're not going for Hall of Fame caliber players every time on this segment. Like, what fun would that be? Like, I'm giving you the answers to the questions you asked me, but some of them are going to be a little more challenging than others.
Did Dad play for other teams? I couldn't remember. That's what I was blanking on.
Yeah, he played. Why am I blanking? Played with the Expos. He played with the Expos and the Phillies.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought he was a Philly at one point.
Yeah, so that goes against my answers or the answers to the questions that you're asking. So, like, no, Pete Rose's dad did play for more than one team, but when you said Pete Rose, I'm like, yes and no. Like, yeah. You're kind of there. You're kind of there. Speaking of being kind of there, are the Mets kind of there now that Grimace is at the helm? Like, this is one of the more random / interesting / arbitrary stories we've seen come across the desk in some time.
Tell the people what the hell you're talking about. If you
have literally no clue as to what I'm talking about, Grimace, the beloved, maybe not so beloved. I think a lot of people I would venture to say that a lot of people would chalk up Grimace as maybe a little more underrated as a McDonald's character. No free ads, but I don't think McDonald's needs any help. Grimace threw out the first pitch at the Mets game, give or take a week ago. I think technically 8 games ago. The streak did end tonight. But prior to, what's today, Wednesday? Prior to Wednesday night's game, well, it's technically Thursday here on the East Coast, 12:04 a.m. Prior to Wednesday night's game, the Mets were 7-0 in their Grimace era, in their self-proclaimed Grimace era. And people were wondering, did Grimace save the Mets? To which I told you that when the Rangers beat the Mets tonight, their post game final score graphic was not the night Grimace. And I was like, I love when teams buy in. Even the opponents. I love when teams around the league just buy into what the people are talking about. I absolutely love it.
Couple notes here. I think that just because I'm here for the pettiness, I would love for somebody to bring out the Hamburglar.
Absolutely. Can we let's get the competitive juices flowing.
If the Yankees did that, I think I would. Oh, that'd be awesome.
I mean, I gotta go Team Grimace. I can't stand the Mets, but
here's
Grimace
the thing.
is a G, dude. I mean, just look at him. I mean, that if you looked up the phrase "just happy to be here" in the dictionary, you're finding a picture of Grimace on that page. I mean, the guy is just
what
chilling.
Value did Grimace bring to the gang? Can you name the other ones?
Some great milkshakes.
Ronald McDonald's obviously in there.
Ronald McDonald, Hamburglar, Grimace. There was that. There was one girl character, wasn't there? She had a funny looking face, I think.
Wow. Well,
no, I'm not making that up.
Here you are sticking up for the purple blob.
Yeah, she looked like a duck or something. Where is it?
What is that crew called?
The Happy Meal gang or McDonald Land gang? I'm seeing all sorts of options here.
I don't like either of those.
Yeah, I don't like them either. The Ronald McDonald gang.
Also, did you see when
what is this girl's name?
throughout the first pitch, he had the wrong glove on.
I did see that. Yeah, it's like, buddy,
That's a tough look.
wrong glove on the wrong hand. And like,
Yeah.
I would imagine that was, by the way, the girl's name, Birdie, the early bird, Officer Big Mac, Hamburglar, Mayor McCheese. How could I forget Mayor McCheese?
Mayor McCheese.
The whole gang's here. But yeah, the Grimace glove thing, obviously he had that for that specific occasion. Like, he's not just picking up Pete Alonso's glove off the bench to go out and throw the first pitch. Like, that's a large glove. And the fact that they couldn't even kind of get that figured out for him, it's like, hey, let us know what handedness you are, and we'll get the right glove for you. They were just like, no, we're just going to make this generic glove, and you're going to go out there and look like an idiot. Although it's tough for Grimace to look like an idiot because, like I said, he's just chilling. He ain't bothering nobody.
It's a Met thing. It's a Met thing to do to the guy.
Yeah, very.
I think this really put Grimace back on the map, number one. Number two, I think we all just need to reflect our respect that we have for McDonald's. I'm a big McDonald's guy.
You want me to shed some light on this to your 2 points there? Put Grimace back on the map, back on the map, and giving some love to McDonald's. Can you do me a favor right quick? Pull up Twitter. Go to McDonald's account right now. Tell me what you see.
Wow. What are we
doing? Tell me they're not on board.
McDonald's. Oh. In the Steve Cohen Met lid. Wow.
They've bought in. McDonald's they have bought in.
The ball with his signature, Grimace.
I'm telling you, dude, Grimace is back. I'm about it. Yeah, I saw
for a while.
That's what I'm saying. I saw people clamoring for him to take over the helm of the managerial seat, and I couldn't agree more.
I mean, what do you got to lose?
What do you have to lose? Put Grimace in the manager's seat. See how things work out for you. I'd say they've been working out pretty well. You're 7-1 in your last 8. And I would venture to say that
the caption, Mets go Let's.
Oh, the bio, yeah.
I'm thinking Grimace is a known idiot. That's why the glove was on the wrong hand. Is that a part of this?
Point. That's a great point. Yeah, I didn't even consider that. Yeah, known idiot, doesn't know how to put on a glove. You're exactly. That was way over my. That
Grimace
completely missed that. That's on me.
He's not all there, you know.
That's on me. That's on me.
The header pick. That's huge.
That's a McDonald's Patrick Star if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, what is that? What do you think he promoted to kids back in the day? Obesity? What is this?
Oh, he was all about the milk. Well, at least now
he's a milkshake guy.
He's the milkshake man.
All right.
All about the shakes.
Well,
what did he promote to kids? Obesity. That's terrible. Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. You're right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right. We've given our due respect to Grimace.
I'm giving them a follow for sure. Let's go McDicks.
Well, that's not what it's called. We've given our due respect to Grimace, but are you prepared to give your due respect to the Dodgers New City Connects?
No.
Nah, I didn't think so.
Pop-Tarts. Gives me Pop-Tarts vibes.
Did you see I know you saw my DirecTV tweet, right?
Please hold.
Go to my replies and you'll see it. Scroll down a bit.
Oh, well, this is weird. I'm just looking at my face on your page while we're recording live.
Yep. Scroll down to the infographic that they put out on the jerseys, like with all the details. Look at the word mark on the jersey, and then look at the DirecTV logo. Tell me it's not identical. That's the same logo. And I saw somebody said, which I don't know if this is true, but somebody said DirecTV headquarters is like 30 minutes from Dodger Stadium. I don't know if that's true, but that's just lazy if that's the case. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, what are they saying here? Typeface inspired by signage at LA Memorial Coliseum, our original home in LA. While the contrail and upward trajectory speak to our city's pursuit for the beyond. What? This is just the most vague, ridiculous, buzzword word salad.
It's so bad. It doesn't have any substance.
So no one's talking about the Pop-Tarts? What's the Pop-Tart dots for?
Yeah, I mean, it literally looks like a lightly toasted strawberry Pop-Tart.
The best thing on here is the hashtag ITFDB for Vin Scully. It's time for Dodger baseball.
Yeah, but even that's lazy, man. Like that's such an easy win for the Dodgers. Oh, just slap it's time for Dodgers baseball in there. We'll make them happy.
I'd rather see Vin Scully's face on these things.
Put Vin Scully's face right on the peck, the number below it, and call it a day.
Yeah, what's up with the number being on the shoulder?
What is that? That's not even baseball.
That's absurd.
And I know. If you're listening, you're going, oh boy, another City Connect for Kyle and Nate to complain about. Well, like just do normal things. Like stop. Look, I know we're always talking about like think outside the box. No, I don't hate the hat, but look, I know we're always saying like think outside the box, but like don't just trample the box and then move to something else. You know, like stay within the realm of the box. Like at least stay in the same room as the box, or even the same house as the box. But you know, stay within those boundaries a little bit. But I get it. They're all about the seeking the beyond, whatever that means. But yeah, the hat's not bad. But yeah, Pop-Tarts all the way. And then the last name under the jersey, under the number on the back. No. Although it was brought to my attention this weekend, and one of those things that I feel like you should know, but you just maybe don't because you don't really think about it. But I saw somebody post a graphic for softball, and they're like, I finally figured out. Or no, it wasn't softball. It was WNBA. They said, I finally figured out why the last names on the back of the jersey are under the numbers. It's because so many of them have long hair, and that you wouldn't be able to read the name on the back of the jersey. I said, okay, well, that makes sense. But not in baseball. We're not dealing with ponytails at an alarming amount in Major League Baseball. So
the pants have the Pop-Tart thing going on too.
I mean, are you surprised?
Here's
the real question.
Also, for the picture of Will Smith, Freddie, and Ohtani, you couldn't get them the same belt.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's 3 different blues going on there.
Well, that's just across baseball. The guys just wear whatever belts they want. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I'm not a fan of that.
That's a thing.
I'm not a fan of that.
Little tangent here. If you like watching baseball on a regular basis, I just shattered the glass for you. Next time you watch, look at the belts around the diamond.
It needs to be addressed.
You'll be surprised how many different belts you see. Here's the real question, though, to kind of put a ball in this, and we got to get out of here. These jerseys or the original Los Dodgers jerseys?
I guess these, because this was like some effort.
Fair, yeah.
The other one was like, I'm pretty sure you do this on your Mexican Heritage Day.
Yeah, I legitimately think that was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. But enough about that. Every time a new City Connect comes around or the topic comes around, I try to decrease the amount of time we talk about it every time. So hopefully we get it down to like 60 seconds.
I'm cool with that.
By the end of this whole chapter of baseball, because I'm over it. Weekend series to watch. What do you got?
I don't want to.
But you're going to.
I don't want to. I hate my team right now. Tonight was tough, dude. I'm hurting. We got Braves going to New York. Face off the Yankees. 3-game set. Starting Friday. Again, I chose an Apple TV game. I don't know
what's up with that, man?
This is a weird streak going. I don't want to talk about it.
These free trials only last 2 months, dude. Like we gotta wrap this up soon.
I know. That's not the right game. I have to click on this one. It's Carlos Rodon going against Chris Sale. I think that might be the one to tap into.
This is in New York, by the way.
It's in New York. Stroman against Morton on Saturday. And Sunday, we got Waldrip going against Nesta. I vote that you watch on Friday and sign up for Apple TV, I guess. I'm so sorry I'm costing you money at this point. And I'm sorry for recommending this team that sucks right now and no one's healthy.
I mean, look, we don't have a great slate of games. I'll be honest this weekend.
It's a rough weekend.
Yeah, you're usually the one to shoot down just about every weekend of games. And I try to find like a couple gems here and there, but they're really just not
a great weekend.
Not great matchups this weekend. We do have the LA series, but nobody really cares about that, if we're being honest. I don't even think the LA fan, like either team, really cares about it.
Ren Hefo going up against Jason Hayward. But
it's just an opportunity for them to fight in the parking lot. That's really all this is. For me, wait, did you give all three or just Friday's game?
All three. I moved pretty quick.
I didn't even catch that. I feel like you got so fixated on Friday.
Friday is Rodon, Chris Sale. Saturday was
Charlie Morton,
Marcus Stroman. Sunday is Nestor and Waldrip.
That's right. For me, I'm going to have my eye on this Royals-Rangers series. As of right now, we don't have updated starters for the Royals or updated starter for the Royals on Friday. So right now we have undecided going up against Nathan Eovaldi on, again, Friday, 8:05. That's Eastern. Saturday, we've got Brady Singer versus Dane Dunning, 4:05 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. And then Sunday, we've got Alec Marsh versus John Gray, 2:35 p.m. Eastern. So not exactly the greatest pitching matchups, but I feel like as of late, the last few weeks, we've been giving you some pretty good pitching matchups. So maybe pay more attention to the offensive
I think
lineups.
We're here to just say that you need to be paying attention to the Royals. The Royals are just making their tour around the United States, and they're just awakening a lot of people that they're good at baseball.
Well, they're not awakening me because I was already on board with the Royals before the season even started. Before the first pitch of the season was even thrown, I knew they were a good team, and you can go back and listen. So I'm not making that up. The receipts are there. You got anything else for the people before we get out of here? I'm heading to the beach this weekend. We're heading to the beach with some friends, so we're going to be there for 4 days. So next time you hear from us,
this weekend. So
yeah, sorry,
sounds boring.
Sorry, but we should be back Sunday though. Should be back Sunday.
I bought the frozen banana slices, the Reese's banana slices. Have you heard of those? Yeah.
I have not, but that sounds incredible.
It sounds great. It's a miss. I think it's a miss. I know. It's the texture is a little weird.
We're talking like official Reese's branded frozen strawberries, covered strawberries.
It's like
bananas. Yeah.
It's just a weird texture. It's hard to explain. So if you see them, I wouldn't recommend them, to be honest. So now they're just sitting in my freezer, and they're probably going to be there a while.
That's tough. That's a tough way to end the week.
Yeah, that's my closing thoughts. So good stuff, everyone. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, all you people that are live.
Appreciate
Big props
you.
there.
Appreciate you always.
If you're not live, turn your notifications on and come hang out with us.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Do all those things. And don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.